Hey guys, inside this video I will show you how you can get instant access to this cool new product that I found. Keep on watching to find out how you can get access for free.
(911), what's your emergency?
I need help. Please, it's my wife. We need an ambulance. Please hurry. Oh God, Deborah, hold on, please. Hold on. I thank God every morning for giving my wife Deborah the strength to survive, and especially for what happened next. I didn't know it at the time, but what was the most terrifying moment of our lives would set off a chain of events that would lead to the discovery of a leaked secret that not only melted away every unwanted ounce of deadly fat from Deborah's body, but also went on to completely transform the bodies and lives of thousands of men and women around the globe. This leaked secret from a whistleblowing insider pulled back the curtains on the true cause of uncontrollable weight gain, premature aging, excessive fatigue, and unexplainable swelling of belly and visceral fat, providing us with a simple 23-second per day fix that didn't require fad diets, calorie counting, or long grueling workouts of any kind. Our new solution enabled Deborah to effortlessly strip 63 pounds of deadly fat from around her organs and her belly in just a matter of weeks. But that's not all. Her skin looks smoother and tighter. She wakes up brimming with energy and passion every day, and we both sleep easy knowing she has obliterated her risk factors for all types of terrifying metabolic diseases. I witnessed firsthand how stubborn baby weight, a stressful work-life balance, and seemingly accelerated aging had combined to literally strike Deborah down. And I felt a deep pain in my chest to see my loving wife, who was once proud of her body, completely miserable with the person who stood on the scales and looked back at her in the mirror. The crushing weight of the excess fat that held her prisoner inside her own body took a heavy physical and mental toll every day on her and our relationship. Not to mention my own weight issues and mental demons. We were heading down dark, divergent paths. So, trying to describe the relief and pure joy that we now feel having finally found this pathway back to happiness and freedom is near impossible. While I was lucky enough to avoid a Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, the technical name for a life-threatening event that Deborah experienced, the truth was, I was needing a Hail Mary as much as she was. Thankfully, the miraculous effect of this simple practice didn't just completely turn around Deborah's body and life, but mine too, proving it could be just as effective for men as it was for women. Much to Deborah's delight, I was also incinerating the fat from around my belly and face, once again revealing my long-lost jawline, which was always one of Deborah's favorite features. My joint pain had vanished, and I had boundless energy, not to mention a reawakened desire for Deborah. Everything about us had changed, but incredibly, our lifestyle didn't need to. Our daughter watched us in disbelief as we continued to eat burgers, pizza, pasta, now able to simply listen to our bodies and appetite, and it only seemed to provide more fuel for the fat-burning inferno raging inside us. Word of our transformation got out fast. All it took was one little picture of Deborah and me on social media, and the requests came pouring in. Family, friends, friends of friends, people we'd never even heard of. Everyone wanted to know how we'd completely turned our lives around in such a short time. God had been kind to us. We felt like it was our divine responsibility to pay this miracle forward. Even though it seemed impossible, we found a way, and what started as a drip quickly became a trickle, which quickly became a flood of success stories from thousands of rejuvenated and revitalized people just like us. After what could only be labeled as divine intervention brought us to our new 23-second per day fix, we couldn't help but feel as though we'd been lied to and ripped off by those who we trusted the most with our health for the last decade or more. Deborah and I had followed the advice of dietitians, personal trainers, doctors, nutritionists, healers, and TV infomercials who had all put us through the ringer, promising the world but delivering nothing more than heartache and expensive bill to pay and unsustainable, unrealistic, and unbearable so-called solutions that left us mentally beat and starving to eat. Little did we know that in the labs of Harvard and other Ivy League schools around the country, more and more peer-reviewed research was proving that the problem had nothing to do with diet, exercise, hormones, or genetics, and instead has everything to do with the rapid depletion of one critical coenzyme inside us that is dwindling further every day due to biological forces that affect us all and are completely out of our control, systematically crippling the metabolic pathways of every single cell and directly stacking on dangerous fat cells and rapid unwanted weight gain. It's no wonder the greedy billion-dollar weight loss industry is pulling every dirty trick out of their legal team's playbook to hide this new solution from what their execs call their juicy cash cow. The people who need it most, their customers, everyday people like Deborah, myself, and you. I'm a little ashamed to admit that it was actually pity that led this whistleblowing doctor to allow me an inside peek at this ritual that had only been available to society's elite. Specifically, a single-step strategy that could replenish this one critical coenzyme, turbocharging our fat-burning metabolic pathways and literally healing all effects of a tired, aging metabolism. In just 90 seconds, I will reveal the exact truth behind this breakthrough. But first, I'll quickly tell you who I am. My name is Richard, and I'm a proud husband and father. Before all this happened, I was just a regular, hard-working, proud American. And my wife, Deborah, is even harder working. I always admired her for this. But what we didn't know at the time was that this was actually part of what led to her downfall. Supportive and selfless, Deborah poured her time and effort into our family, but always wanted her own career too. Another thing I admired. Her passion to help others led her to become a registered nurse, then pursuing her nursing master's degree and advancing to become a nurse practitioner, where she had multiple specialties including helping men and women with their own chronic illnesses such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Deborah loved and cared for her patients a lot, so it hurt her deeply to see them come and go like a revolving door. These sick and overweight patients came to the hospital out of desperation, often after a health scare. And after a stern word from the doctor, who blamed their lazy lifestyle habits, they were sent home with yet another diet and exercise program and a new bag of medication to boot. Of course, like all diet and exercise programs, after a week or so they would fail miserably and unwanted fat would pile on, leaving them even more defeated than they were before. Deborah was growing more and more skeptical. However, she had to trust the so-called experts. But the underlying and undeniable truth was that for both Deborah's patients and ourselves, the solution to the unstoppable freight train of body fat piling on day after day could never be solved by Atkins, keto, or a Weight Watchers diet. We had no way to know that in reality our natural fat-burning metabolic pathways were completely paralyzed due to the depletion of this one unique coenzyme. And the darkest truth was that this was deliberately being kept secret from us. Tragically, for some of Deborah's patients, this secret was uncovered too late. She never got the chance to solve their weight problems, to heal their metabolic dysfunction. They fell victim to the vicious obesity epidemic inexorably sweeping the country. But unlike them, your fate isn't sealed. At least not yet. Instead, you can wind back the clock and the scales, instantly taking complete control of your own health and weight, leaving you with more energy and time to spend doing the things you value the most with the people you love. Incredibly, you won't need to cut out carbs, give up sugar, or starve yourself for hours on end. In fact, your favorite foods are actually encouraged. And what busy working parents and even grandparents love the most is that for once, exercise is not a requirement to burn away the unwanted pounds. Let me expose why every attempt you've made up until now has been destined to fail, and instead reveal the one simple pathway to completely heal your metabolic dysfunction and unleash your own natural automated fat-burning machine. If we weren't the living, breathing proof, having burned away every ounce of unwanted fat with this one simple, clinically proven 23-second ritual, then we'd probably find this hard to believe. But we had faith. And now, we get to enjoy the freedom that comes with our lean, toned bodies every day. Perhaps you can relate to where Deborah and I were just a short time ago. At 53 years old, we'd tried every diet and so-called solution under the sun. And yet, there we were, the best days of our lives being ruined by a combined 100 plus pounds of unwanted fat. Committed to finding a solution and with access to all kinds of medical journals, Deborah had put in hundreds of hours of research at work and at home trying to solve our weight loss riddle. On top of the fad diets, we'd tried hypnosis, sleeping pills, intermittent fasting, and even avoiding microplastics. Yet, basic science always came back to one thing: calories in versus calories out, energy in versus energy out, eat less and exercise more. It seemed we were just unlucky. Somehow, this simple science just didn't work for us. We had carefully counted every calorie, weighing everything we ate on kitchen scales and recording it all on a calorie tracker called MyFitnessPal. We also increased our exercise with 12,000 plus steps per day and tried intense workouts like P90X and Insanity. According to this simple equation, we should have been losing several pounds per week. But somehow in our best weeks we plateaued, and in the worst weeks, the body fat kept piling on. We seemed to somehow defy science and logic, but the more we spoke to other people like us, the more clear it became that we weren't alone. Something wasn't adding up. Perhaps things were more complex than this simple equation implied. What we're constantly told is that if calories in outweigh calories out, then that energy will be stored as fat, like a permanent body fat ledger. But think about it. If that's how our bodies really work, we'd all either be as big as a house or starve to death by now. As you can see, a small surplus of 500 calories per day, basically just one 6-inch meatball sub, would mean we'd weigh 400 pounds before we knew it. And on the flip side, a 500 calorie deficit would starve us out of existence just as fast. Looking back, we were naive to think it was that simple. In reality, we know deep down that our bodies are much more complex than that. Deborah refused to give up. She used the hospital's credentials to gain access to more progressive, cutting-edge research. What she started to uncover was that our bodies have a myriad of systems whose job it is to naturally keep us lean, energetic, and healthy through both feast and famine, and how these systems completely depend on something called our metabolic pathways to function. Meaning these metabolic pathways are completely responsible for the balance between energy production, energy expenditure, and the energy that is stored away as fat, and therefore, they completely control our body fat and weight. I remember late one night, she called me over.
Richard, I think I've got it. We've been punishing ourselves with diet and exercise, eating less food and exercising more without making any progress. But the amount of energy was never the problem.
It had to be true. We'd been tracking every single calorie.
It has to be something disrupting our metabolic pathways themselves.
Yes, that makes total sense. So, if we restore our metabolic pathways back to their prime, our bodies will naturally melt away the fat. Okay, so, how do we do it?
Unfortunately, I have no idea.
We felt so close to an answer, but also more frustrated than ever. Like our rising belly fat, our marital troubles were bubbling away for years, and inevitably, they finally boiled over. I tried my best to start that fateful Thursday morning on a good note. "You are still as beautiful as the day I met you," I told Deborah, certain that this would make her feel good.
Are you kidding? I'm disgusting. I'm sorry, but I just can't do this anymore. I can't be here with you.
She swung the bathroom door shut, sobbing.
I just need to get out of here. I need some time and space to think. There's nothing you can do to change my mind.
I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I was devastated. Devastated that she was leaving, but even more so that she felt that way about herself. If only she could see herself through my eyes, feel for herself what I feel for her. Watching her pack her bags was the worst moment of my life. Little did I know, it was about to get worse. Like a perfect storm, the excess fat, the stress, the frustration, and the fight all combined. and as Deborah stormed through the kitchen on the way out, suddenly she clutched at her chest.
911, what's your emergency?
I need help. Please, it's my wife. We need an ambulance. Please hurry. Oh God, Deborah, hold on, please, hold on! The paramedics rushed in and pulled me away, and my own chest felt like it was exploding when Deborah said she didn't want me to go with her. As they loaded her into the ambulance and sped off to the ICU, sirens blaring, I swore I would do whatever it takes to save her, and save our marriage. That night I sat alone on the couch, staring at the wall, praying to God for a solution to a problem I couldn't even understand. I must have sat there for hours until the phone ringing brought me back to reality. I rushed to answer it, desperately hoping it was Deborah, but it was just my friend Joshua, an old college buddy I hadn't seen in years. I guess word travels fast. He'd heard what happened through his wife, who heard it from Deborah's best friend, and was calling to check on me. At first I didn't say much. I hadn't heard from Joshua for 5 years after all, but he kept probing about what went wrong. Eventually, the floodgates opened, and I just let it all out. All the problems that had plagued our marriage for close to a decade. Beyond the terrifying events of that day, I told him about the physical and emotional toll our weight troubles had on our relationship. How Deborah didn't think she deserved happiness. How disgusted I was every time I saw my own reflection. How Deborah was literally starving herself to death to look better. How I was so caught up in my own problems that I failed to support her. How stressed and depressed we both were. Even how we hadn't been intimate in months because we both hated the way we looked. On and on I went for what seemed like hours, and all the while Joshua sat there listening patiently. When I was finally done, it felt like a huge weight had been lifted. I couldn't believe it. I told Joshua things that I didn't even realize I was feeling until now. But it was what he said next that really surprised me. Richard, I think I can help you. Help us? How? Last I heard, Joshua had started working as a team doctor for a pro football team. But what did that have to do with us? Was he going to put us through some team fitness regime? We're in our 50s for Pete's sake, and Deborah is laid out on a hospital bed. He must have sensed my confusion.
Richard, this isn't some training or diet program. Trust me, you've never seen anything like this before.
I was skeptical, but I was also desperate.
I'm going to reveal a secret to you that's going to change your lives forever, just like it did mine. There's a new single-step strategy that time-poor celebrities, athletes, and the world's rich and famous are using to stay in incredible shape without watching what they eat or ever stepping foot in a gym. Since ancient times, society's elite have searched endlessly for the fountain of youth. The search is finally over.
Over the next 2 hours and 45 minutes, Joshua laid out the why, the what, and the how of why we both seemed to be free-falling in a death spiral towards obesity, disease, and rapid premature aging. I'm going to sum it up for you in the next couple of minutes, so pay close attention. Joshua confirmed that our bodies have a multitude of natural systems that are responsible for maintaining our health, including our hormonal balance, our appearance, our immune system, our cognitive function, and of course, our weight. And all of these systems rely on our metabolic pathways to transfer energy in order to function. I've thought back to Deborah's late-night research. Turns out, she was closer than we ever realized. When our metabolic pathways are undisrupted, then all these systems function optimally, and we enjoy a harmonious, natural balance throughout our entire bodies. Perhaps you can think back to a time when you felt happy, full of energy, and your body maintained a lean and healthy weight quite effortlessly. If so, congratulations! You know what it is like to enjoy healthy, fully functional metabolic pathways. As we age, we naturally incur disruptions to these metabolic pathways, but external factors such as stress, poor sleep, and even excessive fat itself cause what leading anti-aging doctors are calling accelerated aging. This accelerated aging disrupts our metabolic pathways at a significantly advanced rate, leading to a severe imbalance of critical hormones like the belly fat hormone cortisol, hunger hormone ghrelin, and appetite hormone leptin, a slow and broken metabolism and increased body fat due to metabolic dysfunction, decreased energy and vitality, and a compromised resistance to a variety of horrible diseases. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel hungry when you know you shouldn't, or suffer from intense cravings for junk food? Do you feel tired and lethargic even though you had plenty of sleep? Most of all, does body fat seem to cling to your body for dear life no matter what you do? It's easy to see why having clean and optimal metabolic pathways is absolutely critical to your health and weight. I now understood that the root cause of mine and Deborah's unwanted and undeserved weight gain and premature aging boiled down to one critical factor. Accelerated aging disrupts our metabolic pathways. Joshua explained that this problem is well known in the biology and anti-aging scientific communities. However, actually healing accelerated aging and restoring our metabolic pathways had proved difficult until now. Sometimes, to solve today's problems, we need to look to the past. A coenzyme called NAD+ was first identified in 1906, and in 1929, Sir Arthur Hardin discovered that fermentation, a metabolic process, relied entirely on, you guessed it, NAD+, earning himself the Nobel Prize along the way. We had no idea of the ramifications of this discovery nearly 100 years ago. But cutting-edge science has revealed that our own metabolic pathways rely on the energy-sensing metabolite NAD+ too. You see, as we age, our NAD+ is actively destroyed by accelerated aging, also known as inflammaging, which at the cellular level is age-related chronic inflammation caused by the overactivation of our immune system. This accelerated aging is rapidly advanced by obesity, deficient nutrition, smoking and alcohol, and stress in general, which completely disrupts our metabolic pathways, causing a broken state of energy balance, meaning our fat-burning metabolism is crippled, amongst all the other horrible effects. This means regardless of how little we eat or how much we exercise, we naturally stack on more stubborn fat, and therefore face a constant onslaught of irreversible weight gain, belly fat, and obesity. And if you remember, the excessive body fat itself causes a further decline of NAD+, which causes more fat. This was the absolute definition of a vicious cycle.
You see, by the time today's average American reaches their 40s, accelerated aging will have burnt up 10 times more NAD+ than in any generation before them, completely disrupting their metabolic pathways and crippling their natural fat-burning systems. But don't lose hope. The most amazing part of all this is that if we can replenish our NAD+ levels, we can restore our metabolic pathways. And if we can restore our metabolic pathways, then we can revitalize all of our internal, natural health and metabolic systems back to their prime and even beyond. You may have noticed some A-list celebrities getting better with age lately. Granted, they've always had great genetics, but it doesn't take a detective to figure out that when they look 30 again in their 50s with chiseled abs and not a hint of cellulite in sight, something else is at play. Listen, this is cutting-edge stuff, reserved for society's elite, and the weight loss industry is spending millions exploiting our complicated legal system to keep it away from the mainstream. If they found out I leaked this to you,
We won't tell a soul.
look, I've been through a divorce myself, and I can see how much this means to you. I'm willing to go out on a limb and trust you here. However, before I can give you anything, you are going to need to sign the following non-disclosure agreement.
We'll sign whatever you need. His final words gave me a surge of hope.
I swear to you, if you and Deborah give this a chance and go all in, you will erase your body fat and change your lives.
I hung up, feeling more optimistic than I'd felt in years. I immediately called Deborah to tell her the amazing news, but could only get her voicemail.
Hi, you've reached Deborah. I can't take your call right now, but please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you.
Please call me back. This might be the most important phone call of our lives. I think I might have found the answer to our prayers. A couple of days later, our delivery from Joshua arrived. There was a note to call him for instructions.
Guys, what I have for you here is extremely potent. It's crucial that you follow the protocol exactly as it is written. Any variations will mess with the powerful synergistic effect we need to create here. This isn't the kind of thing you follow loosely. This isn't the kind of thing that you do here and there. Skip day. I need you to follow this 100%. As I explained, your uncontrollable weight gain is due to your disrupted metabolic pathways, and they're disrupted due to your depleted NAD+ levels. We need to replenish your NAD+ levels to fully restore your metabolic pathways. When we do this, it will trigger complete and natural weight loss. First on your list is pure niacin, sourced from the seeds of the helianthus plant. Our research indicates that this is the most biologically available precursor to NAD+, meaning your body converts it rapidly and replenishes intracellular levels. This provides your metabolic pathways with the fuel they need to reestablish your natural energy balance, reinvigorating your metabolism, bulletproofing stress resistance, and increasing fat cell receptor sensitivity to allow the body to preferentially convert fat into usable energy. You can now incinerate your fat cells using a hyperlipolic burn complex made from thiamine hydrochloride, pyroxidine hydrochloride, pentothenic acid, and biotin. Each of these compounds on its own can support conversion of fat into easily burned energy. However, our extensive genetic testing has found that in these exact ratios, we can maximize fat cell destruction and support the prevention of carbohydrates being stored as dangerous body fat, especially around the belly, thighs, and face. Finally, to permeate this switch from fat storing to fat burning mode throughout your entire body, cellular energy expenditure needs to increase by at least 200%. Riboflavin is converted into NAD+'s cousin FAD, a powerful thermogenic activator, to optimize the energy use for complete fat cell extinction.
According to Joshua, everything we needed was now in our hands. Deborah and I agreed to meet with Joshua in a few weeks' time to check on our progress. Despite everything we had just heard, I couldn't help but feel a little skeptical. It seemed too good to be true that this delivery from Joshua really contained the answer to all our problems. Our uncontrollable weight gain, the fatigue, the lack of vitality and libido, and our failing marriage. I figured I had nothing left to lose. This was my only chance to save my marriage with Deborah. I had to go all in. I spent over an hour meticulously putting everything together as instructed and took my first dose. There was no immediate feeling, but as I sat down to clear out some emails, I realized I had an unusual level of focus. Then I went outside and did some long overdue yard work. I felt so energetic and strong. I could have worked in the yard all day. Incredibly, I only felt a fraction of the hunger I used to feel, and the relentless sugar cravings were just gone. It felt like my body was melting away my existing body fat instead of craving more food. Over the next few days, things only got better and better. Incredibly, this feeling wasn't going away. I almost felt enlightened. I thought I was going crazy when I put on my work slacks and my belt went through a notch I hadn't used in years. In fact, all of my clothes felt looser. On the weekend, I shyly stepped onto the scales again. My clothes were already telling me a story, but I needed to find out if it was fact or fiction. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I dropped 12 pounds already, and when I looked in the mirror, the youthful me was starting to peer out again, like rays of sunshine breaking through the clouds. I couldn't help thinking of all the people I knew who needed something like this, but perhaps selfishly, my first priority had to be Deborah. I showed up to our follow-up appointment, equally excited to show Joshua and Deborah my results, as I was nervous to see Deborah again. We'd spoken briefly a couple times, but that was it. I had so many questions. Had she had the same sort of success? What would she think when she saw me? Was I actually looking that much better, or was it just in my head? Did she even care anymore, or had she moved on? Luckily, I didn't have too much time to overthink it. Deborah and Josh both walked into the waiting room at the same time, and my jaw hit the floor.
Come on into my office, guys.
I followed them in what felt like slow motion. mouth probably hanging open. It was like I was walking behind my wife from 25 years ago.
Now, first of all, as I'm sure both of you realize, you both look 10 years younger. And you don't need to tell me. You feel amazing, right?
I nodded in agreement, only half listening because I was so distracted and in awe of the woman next to me.
Your results are looking very good, but let's just run a couple of quick tests to see where your biological markers are at.
Joshua left the room. With a tear in my eye, I turned to Deborah. You look incredible. How are you feeling?
Oh, thank you. I feel amazing. It's been an incredible few weeks.
Joshua came back and ran a few tests on us with some machines I'd never seen before.
Well, I'm proud to say that I've done it again. Richard, your metabolic pathways are already 93% restored. No wonder you've burned away so much body fat already. And Deborah, your results are even better. You're down 7 dress sizes, as you mentioned. And it's no wonder. Your metabolic pathways are fully restored. In fact, your biological age is now down to 29 years old.
I feel even younger, Joshua.
We'll continue to monitor you both, but I think it's safe to say things are on the right track. Keep doing what you're doing. You're almost there. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Doctor, wait. I know we signed those non-disclosure agreements, and I haven't told a soul. But friends, family, work colleagues are all noticing and asking me what I'm doing differently. Besides that, I have so many patients and ex-patients who really need something like this.
Let me stop you right there. I know what you're going to say, but there's just no way. Cutting-edge, protected bionutraceuticals like these are completely blocked by Big Pharma and those up top, not to mention the multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry. It will be a decade before this reaches the mainstream. My hands are tied. I'd lose my job and be blacklisted if I tried to spread the secret. And you might too, Deborah.
My mind was racing. There just had to be a way we could get this incredible solution to our friends and family who needed it desperately. Then it clicked. You two would be blacklisted. But what about me? We stopped together at a cafe in a small town on the way home. Deborah and I bonded over the incredible experience we'd had implementing Joshua's prescription. She felt just like I did, decades younger, well-rested, full of energy, and the clingy body fat was just melting away. We both agreed that we had to do whatever it took to get this out there. We knew far too many people who needed it desperately. Good regular folks just like us, who were suffering, and who otherwise would never have access to something like this. Deborah made a list of all the potential candidates we could think of. Family, friends, ex-patients, all the people who were like us, who had been not so gradually stacking on the pounds with no explanation, and who had put themselves through the ringer with diet and exercise programs that completely failed them. Finding the people was easy. Now we just needed to get them access to the solution. As if he hadn't done enough already, Joshua was our absolute savior. On top of helping Deborah and I transform our entire bodies and lives in such a short period of time, his contacts and expertise proved invaluable despite his restrictions. I guess maybe his conscience had gotten the better of him, and he could no longer live with this remaining a secret. The most important contact of Joshua's was at the most prestigious and well-certified manufacturer and lab in the entire United States, and he helped us get a foot in the door. Over the following 17 months, we worked tirelessly with their in-house team, headed by lead pharmaceutical technician Robert Da Silva, who was critical in working Joshua's formula into one simple and easy-to-swallow capsule, which would only need to be taken once each day. Once we explained to them the outcome of the formula, incredibly, Professor Da Silva and his team were able to actually enhance the fat-burning, stress-melting, and mood-enhancing effects of the solution, specifically with the addition of the Tranquil Burn Matrix, which includes a previously unreleased combination of 18 100% natural nutrients based on their latest research. This would increase the cost of manufacturing, but if it meant that the efficacy would be higher and our candidates could get even better results, then we decided we just had to go for it. We promptly sent out the initial samples to our candidate list, including all of the men and women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, of whom diet and exercise had failed, and who at this point were on a one-way street to utter failure. We were confident, but still nervously waited for their results. Deborah couldn't stop crying. The results were shocking. The thank you emails, text messages, Facebook messages, and even written letters in the post started to pour in, and frankly, we were blown away. Despite their broken metabolism, sluggish energy levels, and being told by doctors they were simply over the hill, our entire candidate list reported stunning weight loss results without needing to adjust their diet, exercise, or lifestyle. Those who had their biological markers tested found that the clock was wound back an average of over 27.4 years, an incredible number, and the group as a whole lost 28,943 pounds. In such a short time, unwanted body fat simply melted away, revealing the young and full of life heroes who were previously forgotten. Incredibly, some of their results were just like Deborah's and mine, and some were even better. Candidates like 57-year-old Dr. Mary W., who wrote, "I was at my wit's end with standard diets. Thanks to Deborah and Richard, I've been able to drop a quite staggering 43 pounds and keep it off effortlessly. Thanks, guys." And 61-year-old grandfather Brian F., who wrote, "For over 20 years I blamed myself and there was a lot of guilt. Thanks to Richard, the guilt is gone, and so is the belly fat. I'm 55 pounds down in total and couldn't be happier." And even 45-year-old busy mother of 4, Rhonda, who wrote, "Diet programs and gym memberships never fit into my schedule. Thankfully, Deborah and Richard solved that problem completely. It's so easy, anyone could do it. I did it and I'll never look back." We felt so proud that our blood, sweat, and tears had without doubt completely transformed the bodies and lives of our candidates, as well as led to the reignition of the flame in many married couples who, just like us, had seen their relationship deteriorate as they grew in both size and age as the years went on. Our prayers had been answered. This simple once-a-day practice was able to completely refuel and treat the onset of unwanted visceral body fat and supercharge previously crippled metabolisms back to their performance peak and beyond. Finally, there was a solution to address the root cause. Deborah and I are proud to introduce you to NLighten Plus, the world's most cutting-edge metabolic cellular solution, containing not just Dr. Joshua's unique blend previously reserved for society's elite, but enhanced with the Tranquil Burn Matrix, containing special scientifically proven nutrients in the exact amounts required to put cellular refueling and subsequent metabolic re-engineering on autopilot. There has never in the history of mainstream wellness been anything like NLighten Plus available. And for this reason, we cannot guarantee it will be available for long. Deborah, myself, and the thousands of our candidates can attest to the jaw-dropping, incredible transformative effect that NLighten Plus has on your body, providing complete rejuvenation starting from the inside at the cellular level and working its way thoroughly to the outside, melting away unwanted body fat and restoring the youthful glow and potential you always had inside you. Simply take NLighten Plus once per day, ideally in the morning, and allow its light to shine bright, recharging your body at the cellular level and enhancing your energy levels, metabolism, focus, and your sleep, all without the need for uncomfortable changes to your diet, exercise, or lifestyle. Our world-class, state-of-the-art, FDA-approved, and GMP-certified facility ensures that every single capsule of NLighten Plus is manufactured to the most precise specifications under the most strict, sterile, and rigorous manufacturing standards, all right here in the USA. Furthermore, NLighten Plus is 100% all-natural, vegetarian, non-GMO, and clinically proven to have absolutely zero side effects, meaning you can rest assured that your entire transformation journey will be completely safe and worry-free. I think back to that fateful night when Joshua hinted to me that perhaps there was a solution to all of our weight problems. I can remember how it felt in that moment to have a glimmer of hope. I would have sold my house, car, and gone to a loan shark if I had to in order to get my young, healthy body, marriage, and life back, without ever again having to count calories, exercise, or deprive myself of my favorite foods. There's no way I could put a number on what it would be worth to me to biologically age in reverse, reclaiming my strong, athletic body, let alone to be able to gift Deborah the slim, lean body that now fills her with confidence every day. How could anyone put a number on seizing the power to recharge your body from the cellular level, gaining the extra time you've always wanted on this earth to spend with family, friends, loved ones, or doing whatever you please? $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, heck, $100,000 is still a bargain when it comes to being able to live your life on your terms under your control in the lean, energetic, and happy body of your dreams. Can you really even put a number on it? Take it from Deborah and I. It is priceless. Joshua never charged us a cent over the cost price for the nutrients, bless him, and when we set out on this mission, we agreed that it would never be about money, and it never will be. We've walked more than a mile in your shoes, and we know all too well the feeling of powerlessness, having no control over the fate of your own body, and watching helplessly as your body clings onto every unwanted pound, all while sapping the energy from your soul. This solution cannot remain hidden. We're letting the secret out, and it's time to get this into the hands of as many people as possible. When our manufacturer saw our very demanding and specific formulation and enhanced it with the Tranquil Burn Matrix, based on the cost of goods, and since there was simply nothing remotely like it on the market, they recommended pricing be set at $1,150 for a course of NLighten Plus. Used to dealing with greedy supplement companies, they were stunned when we stood up to them and said, "No way." In the coming days, we will need to reset the pricing to $249 per bottle to cover costs. However, today we are going out on a limb and making a full 30-day supply of NLighten Plus available for a simple one-time investment of $49. Yes, just $49 for a full month's supply. Before you go ahead and order though, we must let you know that NLighten Plus has a cumulative effect, and research has shown that it is best to take NLighten Plus consistently for at least 90 to 180 days to experience the full potential of the formula, ensuring that you both reach your desired weight and shape and stay there. So to ensure you are able to fully capitalize on the incredible full potential of consistent use of NLighten Plus, we are going to allow you to order a 3-month or 6-month supply of NLighten Plus for an incredible one-time discount, allowing you to save even more money on top of today's limited pricing. I must inform you though, we simply cannot guarantee this special pricing beyond today and this initial production run. We must also realize that as word spreads and demand increases, our manufacturer has told us the key ingredients and nutrients in the formula are likely to increase in price, possibly substantially. The smart move is to pick up at least the 3-month supply of NLighten Plus while it is available at this price. The only thing we can 100% guarantee pricing-wise is that NLighten Plus will never be sold cheaper than your opportunity today, and NLighten Plus will never be available at any other store or website like Amazon or eBay. In fact, this is part of how we are able to offer this one-time low price. We have cut out all the middlemen who add fees, commissions, and additional taxes. We've gone the extra mile to ensure your security with full 256-bit encryption on your order page, and we 100% guarantee that this is a one-time payment with no hidden charges or recurring subscription fees whatsoever. If NLighten Plus is still in stock, then you'll see your 3 money-saving options to purchase below this video. Simply select your package and click Buy Now, and then confirm your order information and shipping address on the order confirmation page. If any doubt does linger in your mind, allow me to swiftly remove it with our incredible no questions asked 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. That means if for any reason NLighten Plus doesn't turn out to be the very best decision you've ever made, or if you even change your mind for any reason whatsoever, just let us know within the next 60 days and my team will refund you the full purchase price immediately. Allow us to take on all the risks so you don't have to. The only way you can possibly miss out is if you don't take action today and seize this opportunity to take a full 60-day risk-free test drive of this incredible miracle fat-melting, vitality-recharging formula and simply see the results for yourself right there in the mirror and on the scales. Now select your desired money-saving package below and join Deborah, myself, and the thousands of others in the NLighten Plus family on the path to a free, happy, and more fulfilling life. Now you clearly understand why every diet, exercise program, and other weight loss attempt you've tried in the past has been futile at the cellular level. You also understand that this moment is your turning point. Your options as I see them: you can either do nothing and continue to sadly allow life to pass you by, never again knowing the incredible feeling of NLighten Plus and seizing back control of your life. By doing nothing, you're succumbing to a reality that will only lead you to more pain, frustration, disappointment, and sadness. Exhausted deep down to the cellular level, your weight inevitably continues to rise as your metabolism is crippled further and your appearance deteriorates. You'll kiss goodbye the chance to live. I mean, really live. To enjoy the things in life that really matter. To be a great example to your family. Instead, heading down a sure path to being trapped in a physiological prison from which you can't escape. This isn't what God intended for you. Instead, firmly grip life by the horns and charge into the next chapter of your life where the stress and guilt and pain of dieting, exercise, and calorie counting simply don't exist. A chapter where the heavy and suffocating body fat you've been carrying for so long doesn't exist anymore. Wake up every day feeling powerful, vibrant, and energized, living like the hero in your very own movie, where you have the courage and the confidence to live the way you always wanted to, the way you aspired to as a child. Let's face it, you've been sitting around waiting. No, needing this to come along. Now it is finally here. You'll never be able to forgive yourself if you don't step up and take it. So do the smart thing, the right thing, for both yourself and those around you while you still can. Choose at least the 3-month money-saving package below with 0 risk and take back control of your body and your life.
Thanks for watching. Please follow the link in the description to get access to the product.